Hey, we back. I'm here on Discord, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm on Discord a fair bit, and I sometimes am a little annoyed with Discord because there's a lot of features that it seems obvious that it should have, and it just doesn't. And so over the time that I've been using Discord, I list features that I think should be added, either that are suggested to me or that I've come up with myself or whatever. And I feel like it might be a fun idea to discuss these in a video, because why not? So that's what we're doing today, potential Discord features. And hey, if there's any Discord developers watching this for inspiration, hit me up. But yeah, so we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to start off with replies. Replies, obviously that's a thing. There's the reply button. You can reply to a message. There you go. I've just replied to this message. This didn't used to be an inbuilt thing. It's a nice feature. Thank you, Discord, for that one. I like your replies. But what if you type the message and then you're like, oops, I meant to reply to something. You can edit the message, but you can't then reply to something on the edit, right? Wouldn't that be kind of nice? More importantly, maybe you did reply to something, but you've replied to the wrong thing, especially if you've got an active chat. Your messages might be going past quite quickly. You might have replied to the wrong message. You could go into the edit of a message and edit which message you've replied to by pressing the reply button in the edit menu or something like that. I feel like that's not difficult to do UI wise, because you wouldn't need to add anything. You could just be in the edit menu and then press the reply button, but it's currently not a feature, so I think they should add that. The next one we've got is one we've been talking about recently with the Discord stickers. So this Control-Shift-I menu, still disabled, right? It's been disabled for a good while now, probably almost a year. Why is it disabled, huh? I can see why it's disabled, to be fair. It makes sense that it's disabled. But I say enable it again, because the Control-Shift-I menu, you know, that was pretty useful. Thanks Karud for the black market post, by the way. Quality. Good timing. Speaking of the Discord stickers thing, the copy link or image button for stickers. If you go over an image, hey, like this one that Karud has just posted, and you right click on it, we have copy link and copy image buttons. That's a normal Discord feature, but if you go onto a sticker, they don't have those, which is why I need to make a video explaining how to get the stickers off Discord. Maybe Discord could just add those itself, hey? Another one that's related to that, add support for GIF stickers. I had to discuss in the last stickers video that they only allow PNG files, which is true, they do. But why not just allow GIFs? And why not support animated PNGs in your display? Hey, let's fix that up. Now we're going on to perms. Let's have a look at some perms. If I go into channel permissions, you can see here that we have permissions for viewing a channel and also for sending messages in a channel. Now, I can see why these are different perms, because you might want people to be able to read messages in a channel but not send them. But what about sending messages in a channel but not reading them? Now, funny enough, you almost can actually get there, because what you can do is you can go into your roles on your server, and you can actually deny a permission called read message history, which isn't quite the same as read messages. Here it is. Allows members to read previous messages sent in channels. If this permission is disabled, members only see messages sent when they are online and focused on the channel. So if you deny the permission to read message history, then that's almost denying permission to read a channel. But it's not quite the same, is it? There is no way to disable permission to read a channel's messages and not to send them. Now you might be thinking, well, of course not. Why would you want that? How's about submissions for competition? If you look at big servers that want to do anonymous submissions for competitions, they will always get their members to DM the server moderators their submissions, and then the server moderators upload them to some announcement channel anonymously, right? If you could have members post messages in a channel that no one else can read, including them, you could have everyone send their submissions into the channel and no one would be able to see each other's submissions. The moderators of the server can still read them. It would be way cleaner and nice. So I think that would be a cool thing that they could add. Speaking of permissions, we could also have channels where you can send images but not text. There are the sending images perms. We've got embed links, attach files, even using external emojis and stuff is a separate permission. But you can't have these permissions ticked and not the send messages permission ticked. Again, why might you want this? Well, maybe if you want to have like an image specific channel, which many servers do have anyway, and you don't want people talking in the channel. What you could do is maybe allow slow mode. That's a good way to do it, but enabling it where you can just have permissions to send images and not text would be a pretty good way of doing that as well. The final perm one on this list is slow mode. You can have people that bypass slow mode. I believe you actually need admin to bypass slow mode. Maybe manage messages gets it as well. I'm honestly not sure. Manage messages might be bypassing slow mode. There's definitely a perm here somewhere that can bypass slow mode, but what you can't do is bypass slow mode in particular channels, at least not without giving extra permissions to people that they might not need. I'm pretty sure it is manage messages that allows you to bypass slow mode, so you could give that out to members, but then they can delete messages. I think we should just have a permission here, or potentially a channel permission that says can bypass slow mode. For a role, if you want a particular role to be able to bypass slow mode without giving them manage messages permissions. Now here's a fun one, an Easter egg one. There is a loading screen tip. You might have seen it when you're loading into Discord. You get some loading screen tips and some fun insights and stuff. And there's one that says there is a small chance to get a fancy ringtone when calling someone. If you're active on Discord, pay attention. You probably know about this tip. Have you got the fancy ringtone yourself before? Well, probably not, actually, because despite the fact that yes, it is always been a very small chance to get it, what's more important is they removed the feature back, I believe, in 2020, which at the time of making this video was 2 years ago. They removed the small chance to get a fancy ringtone. You can't actually get it anymore. If you're wondering about this feature, if you haven't seen it, it's just when you call someone. If you go on call button here, you go into your DMs and you call someone, you can sometimes get a small chance of a fancy ringtone, except you can't. The loading screen tip still says the chance is there, and it has all these years, but the chance is actually gone. I say, if there's not a chance to get a fancy ringtone, then there shouldn't be a loading screen tip saying that you can get a fancy ringtone, huh? That kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? Next, we're going to be talking about the searches. We have all the search options up here, and they're pretty good. I actually really like Discord search. It's probably the most detailed search that we have in any kind of social media or anything like that. You can search from a lot of different aspects, from user, mentions user, having particular things in the message, during particular dates, in particular channels. It's all there, except it's not. We could do with some more search options. I would love some more. Some examples that I've written down here. Has emoji. You can actually search for emoji. So for example, if I send an emoji here, you've got Awoo Spy. And then if I search in here, Awoo Spy, it comes up. But not all emojis will come up. Namely, default emojis do not work like that. If I go find myself a default emoji, for example this one, and then I search this one into the Discord search, it doesn't come up. Now, to be fair, in this case, it's because it's changed it into a Unicode, but what is this called? Upside down? If I search upside down, it still won't come up. There you go. So it doesn't work with default emojis, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually work with server emojis as well. So if I find an emoji from I Am the Senate, for example, this one, I search this. I don't think this works, although I'm not sure. There you go. It doesn't work with that either. For some reason, it has to be as an emoji from a different server for it to even work, which is really weird and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah. You can fiddle about with it yourself. Sometimes it'll come up with results and sometimes it won't. It's really weird. But if you could just have in this little has menu here, instead of just link, embed and file, well, and all of these other things, it's even got sticker now, which is really cool. We can search for has sticker, but you can't search for has emoji. I say, let's have has emoji. Another example I've got is from role. So we've got from user. Let's have from role. So for example, you could say from people that have, I don't know, level 10 Me6 role or something like that. Maybe you're looking for messages from an admin. You could say from admin and search for messages from those. That seems like a pretty sensible thing. We could have in category. This isn't a great example because this server only has one category, but in most servers you'll find multiple different categories here. And you could search for messages in a particular category. Now, in most cases, this isn't too bad because you could just search in these 3 channels. I could say in Karuta, and also in Karuta Drops, and this will actually come up with messages from both channels. There's no messages popping up here, but trust me, okay, this is coming up with messages from both channels. But if you have a really big category, for example, in this server, we have the general category with all these channels. I don't want to type them all into the search bar, so we should just have in category. The final one that I'm going to say is just a little bit nerdy, not going to lie. Regex. We should just have regex in the search bar. That would be epic. I don't know if you don't know regex, then fair enough. Just ignore that one. But like, trust me, okay. Having regex in the search would just be fantastic. So yeah, some more detailed search options. That would be great. Next, we're going to be talking about emoji, actually, since we were just talking about them. Emoji, here, we've got our favourites emoji. This is a reasonably new feature to Discord. I say reasonably new, it's probably about a year old now. I'm not sure. It's a great feature. Again, thank you, Discord, for adding this feature. But you cannot reorder your favourite emoji. Personally, I have a lot of favourite emoji. I use these all frequently, and I put them all here. And you can see it goes on for quite a while. But when you add a favourite emoji to the list, it automatically goes right to the end. So if you want to put it, say, in the middle somewhere, you have to unfavourite everything after it, and then favourite it, and then refavourite everything in order. In fact, to this end, I have pinned on this channel all my favourite emojis in order, so I can re-favourite them in order if I need to at some point, which has happened once before when I got sick of them being not in order properly. So yeah, reordering your favourite emoji would be pretty good. Now let's go on to VCs. VCs here. You can mute people in a VC. Of course, only if you have the perms to do so. But yeah, you can mute people in a VC for various reasons, you know, whatever. Things happen. You can server mute them, you can server deafen them, stuff like that, right? And that just means they're muted for everyone. However, you can only do this when they're in a VC. So if you want to mute someone before they're coming into a VC, or you want to mute them after they've left a VC, or maybe you muted them when they were in a VC, and then you want to unmute them after they've left the VC, you can't do that. You just can't at all. If you right-click on someone here, you can see I have moderator perms, but I can only timeout, kick, or ban. There is no server mute or server deafen. However, if someone joined a VC, I would then be able to do it. This is kind of annoying for moderators, and this is why bots are used to moderate things like this, because actually you can put timers on it, and bots can unmute them after a certain length of time. Or you could use a role for it, a muted role that is always muted in VCs, and then you can unmute them later by removing the role. But these seem like kind of workarounds for this. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to just unmute, or in fact mute, VC-based things when someone isn't in a VC. It just kind of makes sense to me. Next, I'm going to be talking about DMs. I can go into my DMs, and you can see I get quite a lot of DMs actually. But when something goes off the bottom, there's a maximum number of DMs you can have open. And so if you keep getting new DMs, something can go off the bottom and it won't be shown anymore. Now this makes sense because you couldn't have this list go on forever, that would be ridiculous. But considering that there is a handy search bar right here anyway, it makes a lot of sense to me that you should be able to search for DMs that maybe have been knocked off the bottom. Maybe list people that have DM'd you at a certain time, something like that. Now, that makes a lot of sense to me, but unfortunately, that's not a feature. Once something's been knocked off the bottom, unless you can find them either in your friends or in a mutual server that you know you have, you're not going to be able to find that DM again, which is kind of unfortunate for someone that gets a lot of DMs. Now, for some reason, we're going back to emojis. I apparently didn't write this list in a particularly good order. Oopsies. But there's a recent emojis category as well. We will have seen it at the bottom of the favorite emojis thing. Now, this recent emojis works in such a way that it takes the most recently used, say, 100 emojis, maybe 1,000 emojis, I don't know how many it is, and it checks which emojis came up the most over those 100 emojis, for example, and puts them in here. So what this means, if you spam out 100 emojis all in one go of just random varieties, your frequently used emotes will be completely reset. Completely reset, right? It doesn't matter what was there before, or even if you continue using them afterwards, because it only takes the most recent 100. If you spam out 100 emojis, it'll be completely reset. This is kind of annoying. So I would prefer it if you could pick the number, say 100, to suit you. I know personally I would increase it a lot so that I could spam out 100 emojis if it came to it, for example, when I was making that pin that I talked about before, and then still have my frequently used there. Or potentially you could even stop the frequently used collecting data for a little bit, something like that. This is a pretty oddly specific feature and I don't think it'll ever get added. I'm just salty, that's basically all this one is. But yeah, it would be kind of cool if that was a feature, in my opinion. Next, I'm going on connections. Now, I believe since I've got stream mode on, it's not going to show my connections on here. That's fair. But normally when you click on someone's profile, you get all of their connections showing up, right? It'll show whatever other social medias they've got on their account connected to Discord, and this could be things like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, right? Recently there's been a few more ones added. I think GitHub's one of them, and there's a couple of other random things. Now, I don't know about you, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but a lot of people that I talk to are asking for each other's MyAnimeList or AniLists. It would make a lot of sense if you could add those to connections. For sure, more people that I've seen on Discord ask for a link to your MyAnimeList than do ask for a link to your GitHub. Now, like I say, I might be biased on this, probably depends what kind of servers you're in, but I think adding MyAnimeList or AniList connections to Discord would be pretty cool. Now, of course, this is a feature that relies on more than just Discord. They would have to talk to those other companies and work something out. So is it realistic? I don't know about that. But it would be pretty cool to see, for sure. The next one, I've made a little thread here. And if you go up to the More button, you can see there's an Open in Split View button, which will open it, in a split view. You've got the channel the thread was made in, and you have the thread over on the right. Now this is pretty cool because you can basically see 2 channels at once. It covers up the members list, but that's not a huge problem. What I find annoying is that if I then go and click on a different channel, it disappears. Now this makes sense because it's the thread from this channel, but wouldn't it be nice if you could have this open on any channel? Better yet, if you could have any channel open on the side, even if you switch servers, you could kind of pick a channel that you want to be, I don't know, lurking in, say, have it pinned to the side, and then it doesn't matter where on Discord you click, it's always going to be here, and you can still be talking in it. They clearly have the functionality available because they have it with this thread here, but doesn't work with any channel in any place. A similar feature is actually with VCs. If I join a VC here, and I can actually go onto the VC like this, you can see there's a pop-out button there. And now you can't see what's happening, but I've opened it in a different window. There you go, see? This is actually a separate window for the VC specifically. You can make this stay on top, you can go full screen, there's all these options around here. You can move stuff around, especially since we have the chat now for VCs as well. It's pretty cool. Wouldn't that also be cool if it worked for other channels in the same way that this does? So you could have a channel pinned to the side, like with threads, or you could pop out a channel onto a different window if you wanted. Both of these sound like excellent options, and I think they should be added by Discord. Finally, speaking of the members list, I'm going to complain about the symbols. We have, say, an online symbol here, there's a streaming symbol, we've got the mobile symbol, do not disturb symbol. What we don't have is mixtures of do not disturb and mobile. If someone is on do not disturb and mobile at the same time, it will just show the regular do not disturb symbol. Same with the idle symbol, the yellow circle, it'll just show idle, it won't show mobile. That seems a little weird. Why not just make idle mobile and idle do not disturb? Now this is actually information that's sent to your Discord client, because Discord has that information and it has nothing to do with it. So you can actually make a plugin to show that if you want, and there is one. Now I'm not endorsing plugins because obviously that's against Discord TOS. I would never use plugins myself, that would be against the rules. But since it's possible and it's proved to be possible, Discord could quite easily add it as a feature. And you know what? There's a lot of plugins out there. Discord seems to hate people making plugins because it's not in the TOS and they would love to get it shut down. But, you know, the easiest way to get something like that shut down is to add the features yourself. So my final point for this video is for Discord to simply implement all those popular plugins that so many people that aren't me use into native Discord, because then they wouldn't have to worry about people using plugins and breaking their TOS. Doesn't that sound like a fantastic idea? Because I'm sure there are some great plugins out there that people would love to see in native Discord, and if their implementations have already been done by someone else, I'm sure it would be pretty trivial for Discord to do it themselves. So that's going to be my final point for today. Loads more features that you can look into yourself to add to the bottom of the list, as well as all the features that I've mentioned today. I feel like this was a pretty badly organized video where I just kind of waffled about nothing, but I thought it would be a bit of fun. So I don't know, let me know if you did enjoy it. I probably won't do something similar again because I've gone down the list now, and that's everything. I also think it was a bit of a long video, so sorry about that one. But we'll be back to normal probably next time, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe I've just gone insane. You can't tell me what to do. I'll go insane if I want. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this video here. Bye.